We always knew that this is going to end in a big supernatural battle, but flying lasers that can disintegrate metal at an instant, and then, well, just dolls filled with explosives, really. A slight difference. But after being forced into a game of cat and mouse, Misaka's now facing off against someone, and, well, they really want to test their mettle against the Railgun, one of the top level 5s. You know, everyone has to prove themselves. I mean, that is a sizable chunk of damage. Them actually being hired to come and stop her from destroying the place. Was that at any means necessary? Well, it's also she's no longer using the prediction clairvoyance of the other girl. I mean, she can sit down for a while and rest up, but she doesn't know that the other skill user is out of the action. Let me guess, if you follow it, you actually get somewhere, but also be able to set them off herself might be useful. Trigger a collapse behind her so she can escape. Are we having this? Use what you have at your disposal. Thinking, not just with what she's been given. Part of why she is a level 5 and so strong. Able to be creative with what she's doing. So, taking those dolls and placing traps of her own, one that are probably a little more effective because they're completely unexpected. After the first one or two, you'd be, okay, tape on the floor, I know what's coming now. But how far is this one going to go to kind of chase her down to prove something? And also, I thought it went over to the other side with her being kind of kidnapped. Has she healed up enough to move properly? I mean, she's not struggling to walk or talk anymore. How much of a burden is it being putting on her body? Oh. That's not a healthy outlook. Excuse me? I mean, yeah, you were forced into it. Well, not forced, into a retreat. Of course, there'd be little time to go around collecting them all. What about all of the other plushies that were in the vent that we saw her laying in. I mean, this is a big facility. Well, works as planned, but what is her powers? Like, you're just plasma field and balls that can burn through pretty much anything so far. What is her plan? It's alive! Why tell her? And while you're throwing that one, do the others. I would not put them next to me, considering you see how fast she can fire things. I didn't expect to see kind of like her green laser things being used as anti-air. Prisms. Impressive. But as soon as you run out of those little cards, just how many of those does she leave behind? And there was someone else that was kind of looking down on her being level 5, saying, oh, you got all the breaks. But it was showing off it was actually her own hard work. Well, hasn't she said something about her meltdown quite a few times? I mean, you'd expect there to be at least a little bit of debris on the floor from one of those dolls. Yeah, that was purposeful. And while you're focusing on the doll, she's still gaining ground. I mean, it's a game of back and forth at the minute. Each one seems like they've got some thing. How much metal was in it? Yeah, just using it to bludgeon her. I think just walking around this facility with a chunk of metal would be better than having it in doll form. Well, she kind of got what she wanted, destroying this facility for now. Nice little ember effect. You wouldn't know if you actually succeeded if you fall here. Gone. I mean, you didn't double tap, you didn't really check anything. How can you not realise where she is stood next to you? I mean, it's an open room. This... I mean, is she pissed off enough to not care about a fair fight now? Well, when it is your life on the line, you're gonna try a little harder. Yep. I mean, she's not here to prove herself or fight. Why stick around? If she gets... That's a horrifying image. If she gets caught up in trying to prove herself. I don't think you needed to destroy the console room. You could have just let her fire indiscriminately for you. So what, you're being called back? She seems to be anticipating something. Will there be any repercussions for leaving all of your tools behind? The extra... It might be best if you just fall over and die now. But the extra... Is it an accent that she's... Why is adding words into her sentence? Even in her weakened, worn-out state, the music isn't giving up. And it's not like short bursts. You can keep him a stream. It's good that when she finally got worn out, she let up on those lasers. And it's your attitude and hubris that are going to be your downfall, or why you're only 4. You've fallen straight into my trap now. However, that doesn't mean that she's given up now. Yep. All she needs to say is that, you know, she's more of a hindrance than her, and that'll piss her off even more. The tape. Oh no. Along with everything, personal insults. She would rather fall than accept help. Yeah. Wouldn't be a good idea to just stick around. Even if you thought you had one. Thanks for explaining how you got out of that. I thought you didn't care. You know, your role here was just to stop the intruder. But if they start looking into it, how are they going to be involved going forward? Grab your shit and run. I mean, he could probably find a better way of packing all of his stuff in the bag so he didn't have to carry his tower PC like that. Well, she'll just have to ask someone else. I always find that funny. So if I tell you, they'll kill me, yeah? What's to say I won't? Especially when you're talking to someone like this. She seems not too distressed about it. Was there one there that didn't say disposed? I might have misread it. Found herself a hotel room that would let her in at this hour and state. Unless someone else picked her up. It's a good thing there you didn't damage your uniform. Shame about the t-shirt, but at least it wasn't one with like frog print or anything. It's quiet. The car park is empty. I mean, it certainly looks a trap, doesn't it? And I was about to say, would she actually check to see if any information is still there? I mean, that could be a thought. I mean, with something like this, you'd think they'd have some sort of backup. I wouldn't rest up saying, oh, I've won right now. But it's at least keep her spirits up. Is she going to be able to get close to the cat? And although she might have stopped the experiments currently, doesn't change anything that has happened. I doubt she's going to be able to get over any of this. Maybe even ever. But considering there's, 20,000 and they each cost that much, that's actually a considerable sum of money. Who's funding this? And that's just in the sisters themselves, not alone the facilities, the research, the tubes and everything. It would be very good if that's the case. But also, considering storylines we've seen, a few minutes left. What is she going to walk into to be that last? That's what she'll walk into. Maybe the only thing to bring her a bit of solace at that time. I've almost missed Toma over these many episodes. I'm wondering if any of these characters will come back and be, a pain in the ass or whatever in other series like Index. Or if they are confined to their own thing. But with the experiments and information becoming a little more wide known, it was just Accelerator, the sisters and the scientists. Now there's a few others that know about it, really. If it becomes widespread knowledge and gets leaked to the general public, would that be a bigger disaster than going around and taking down the facilities? Misaka has seen a roller coaster of emotions recently, hasn't she? From pure rage and despair to maybe a little hope. And when that gets summarily crushed, oh boy, are we in for some episodes. But also, we didn't say anything about that one that was abducted in the end of the last episode, which means that, well, there's trouble. But I am quite happy with seeing, you have the green lasers. You're thinking, this is practically the extent. Sure, she can bend the Misaka's electricity around so she can't be hit. But there is limitations. Is it a maximum of 4? And then immediately pulls out, I see, you have a prison card that allows splitting into a variety of smaller yet equally destructive lasers. a reason as to why you are level 5, making up for your own inadequacies via other means, rather than just accepting it. But then again, that friend, I believe someone said there was a level 0, and considering she was using fused tape and explosives, yeah, no real powers per se, just kind of guerrilla tactics and also some quite good martial art practice. And hopefully now that the last facility was empty, it means Misaka can take a little bit of a break. She has both deserved it and really needs it. Like we were saying, like we were told, she hasn't eaten for 3 days. Which, while, yeah, it kind of helped in that battle, but not good for her, physical health. Someone is going to notice. And how long is it going to be before she can see a cat, a frog button, ice cream, without being constantly reminded of that one she was too late to do anything about? We are going to have to see by watching the next episode. Luckily, this isn't it for the week. If you enjoyed this one, let me know. Leaving a like and a comment really helps out the channel. And if you want to go above and beyond, consider subscribing. You can keep up to date with future uploads that way as well. So, you may want to get yourself some rest. Just watching someone running around blasting electric everywhere is tiring. See you in the next one. If you want to be the light-bending prisms that help spread my channel around to destroy anything it touches, consider joining on to my Patreon, because I thoroughly need to thank Sal, Electric Ant, Arthea, Noku, Raywin, Shiwan, Mecha, Matt, Stinsfire, Jennifer Rojas, Girly1234W, Kite, Saltytron, Cardboard, Dark Shadow 7899, Jim Ace, Maldizio Lascano, and everyone else. And so together, let's spread this terrible curse as far as we can.